feeling myself, but I stay in my lane. I know you thinking you nice, but you sounding the same. He need to switch up his flow, but I know that he ain't. Maybe he want to and probably can't. He talk a lot, but ain't saying a word. He's 16, sounding like he be lacing his herbs. Reggie Rock told me time to just focus and spit. Quit worrying about the niggas abandoning shit. I dropped broken and they told me quit biting your tongue. The way you writing sounded like you forgot where you from. Say you from the hood, but you sound like a minister now. Yeah, I could take it there, but shit, I just like how this sound. I should address some of this drama, but letting it go. Shit, I can't keep playing with you niggas, I'm getting too old. The last words Bone told me I never forget. Quit playing with this music and do it to death. Shit, I came back.
You're now watching the End of the Bench podcast, Build and Destroy, hosted by your man, H-Rap B.
Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. This is your man, H-Rap B. Thank you for tuning in to Build and Destroy, where I attempt to build up the community and destroy the lies and propaganda that surround our community. If you are not too busy, please hit that like button, hit that share, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Thank you for tuning in. As I do every week, I am going to pay homage to my ancestors, which are my parents. That's John and Dolores. Thank you for creating me. Without them, there is no me. Thank you for tuning in. And again, hit that like button, hit that share. It is important. It's important. Salute to everybody who's coming into the chat room. Ramal, Booth, thank you. The people on Facebook, thank you. The person who hit like already, thank you. It is important. Thank you. Today, good versus evil, right versus wrong. Things that we have to do. We have to, as a community, what I want us to start doing is thinking about our grandchildren. And that's what I really want us to do. It is important that we do as such because we are in an election year, and what they call it is an inflection point. We are in a situation to whereas yesterday was one of the most important days of the year. It is a day that we celebrate the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s life and his contribution to our community. Dr. King was a seminal person in our community. It is important that we acknowledge everything that he has done, and his family continues to do. I heard a speech with his granddaughter, his only grandchild, his only one and only grandchild. I got Poetic Sins in the building. Thank you, Poe. It's always good to see you. Thank you for the support. Continue to drop that link in my inbox as well. I continue to support you as well. It is important that we keep these things moving because you have an concerted effort in destroying our community. Let's just be frank. I don't want to mince words. I don't want to beat around the bush. I don't want to make it seem as if I'm trying to soft soap things because the time to soft soap things that's over. It's over for that. It's too late to make things nice. People are attempting to put you in a situation to where you have no control over your mind, body, and or soul. And they're disguising it into in religious purposes, and they're doing what's best for you, and that's just foolishness. That is just a joke. No one is doing anything for your purpose. No one's doing anything for your rights because no one has done anything for your purpose and your rights. And the entire time we've been in this country, they've always been to destroy us and put us in situations to whereas we have no control or autonomy over our bodies. Now, when you're living like that, you cannot expect people to assume that you will all of a sudden you turn over a new leaf and you're going to do what's best for them. And that's just insane. I want to talk about how these corporations that we control, whether you believe it or not, the consumers control them because without us, there is no them. We don't necessarily need all the products. We just need some of the products to sustain. We need sustenance. We don't need bags of potato chips. We don't need snacks. We don't need things of that nature. So when these people start price gouging, you can see all over the world. I got my man Chef D in the building. Thanks, Chef. It's always good to see you. Keep dropping the link in me. I keep supporting you as well. When you see these things all over the world and price gouging and overcharging and the misuse of what they perceive as power, we must come together and get those things taken care of. That's why I'm here today, because I'm talking about the price gouging. I'm talking about how people present themselves in situations to whereas we are literally on the verge of fascism. And then I'm gonna close out talking about things that you need to know. And as you talk about this fascism, how in the past people have elected people to run their lives, and then they fail back and realize I've done a horrific deed, and now I'm paying for it. One of the people I'm speaking of are the people in those concentration camps at the end of World War I. I'm gonna talk about that a little bit, and then we'll give you a little piece of history, and then we're gonna move forward. I got stuff to do on Tuesday nights. Represent my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. That's what I'm gonna do. Bible study tonight. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna start with the price gouging. The price gouging is something that is not a horrific thing. I got my man D ready to build. Good to see you, brother. The price gouging is out of control. We are complaining about prices. We complain about gas is too high. We complain about food is too high. Some people complain about rent is too high and things of this nature. That when you go to buy a home, the interest rates are too high. We are in a situation to ask the people who have are in control of the people who need. And that seems as if we have no control of it. How can you control things of that nature? I'll tell you how you can control things of that nature. How do you control those things? It's only by what you need. Don't buy what you want, buy what you need. If you doubt what I'm saying, the countries that I'm about to list to you, just a few of them: Italy, Spain, Belgium, and France. Italy, Spain, Belgium, and France are 4 countries that have told PepsiCo, Quaker Oats, and Frito-Lay, you can keep your products. Whole country said, look, you charging too much. Look, I understand during this COVID crisis, a lot of things went up because no one could deliver these things. There was a shortage of this, so now we have to raise the prices. Well, since then, the COVID situation has been a reduction in the COVID outbreak. We're no longer in a worldwide pandemic. Has the COVID disappeared? No, because I know 3 or 4 people who've been stricken with COVID over the last 3 or 4 weeks. So it is still here. I doubt if it ever goes away. It may turn into what we see as the flu or the common cold, something that you could just get on a regular basis and your body builds up enough immunity to where you can fight it off. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an immunologist. Don't take my word for it. I'm just making an assumption. But these companies, Wingstop, Frito-Lay, PepsiCo, and other companies, they left their prices sky high. And you have whole countries saying, keep your product. This is how you, as a working class individual, can combat these same companies. If you think you're being overcharged for what you're paying for, then at that point, you, as a consumer, don't leave those things on the shelves. If those shelves stay packed and those factories stay full, at some point, because of surplus, the prices go down. We are in control of that. If we stop buying vehicles because we want only when we need, the prices go down. That's the consumer. You cannot. This is what consumer power is. They want you to believe that you consume and you consume and you consume. That's consumer power. No, park money in your pocket messes up the economy. What messes up the economy? Then they have to change things. When they change things, then that benefits you. It must be a give and take. We are in a situation to where as America is the world's wallet. What I mean by America is the world's wallet is this. People send goods here. We purchase them and they get rich outside of here. You got oil barons. The Middle East, they are filthy rich. Those people over there, some of those people over there are filthy rich. That's how Nigeria is surviving, because they're selling oil. And that's why those countries were invaded and attempted, and some of them colonized, and they attempted the colonization of those lands because they have natural resources. But if we no longer use those things, those resources become less valuable. Those things become less valuable. We, as the consumer, have the power. We must, as a community, as a country, look, my show is centralized to my people, but I'm speaking to every working class individual in the history of the world. Everybody's walking around, getting up, going to work every day. You have the power. We must stop dying of consumption. And at one point, consumption used to be called diabetes, used to be called consumption because it was consuming your bodies. That disease was literally eating you away and is literally eating people away every day. They're eating that sickness is eating at your body. But what I do want you to do is this: realize this consumption is eating away and eroding away at your bank accounts and your wallets. And that's one of the major problems in this situation. If you no longer want people to take advantage of you, you must do what's in your power. And what is in your power? What's in your power is this: what you spend your money on, what you give your attention to, what you allow people to do. This ties right into your ability to exercise your civil rights. See, we as people who get up and work every day, we assume that other people are in charge, but you are actually in charge. The people that we voted to place, those people are doing our bidding. They were supposed to be doing our bidding, but if we put them in place and never give them instructions, then they walk and run and put things into place that the lobbyists are paying them for. And then at that point, you are on the short end of the stick. But as a human being who works every day, we must allot time and afford ourselves the time to make sure, again, the world is a good place for our grandchildren. We can no longer think about ourselves. We need to be thinking about our grandchildren and our grandchildren's children. It's easy for me to say these things because, look, I did the research. I worked on HRAP. I don't have the time, but we do have the time. A lot of us watch football this weekend. A lot of us watch Netflix this weekend. A lot of us watch reality TV this weekend. A lot of us watch traditional TV this weekend. That same time can be allocated to do the things that we need to do to make sure the community is in a better position. There are people in this world who bank on the fact that you think you don't have time. One thing that you hear on a lot of times is people make time for things that they want. So if we can make time for things that we want, we must make time to make our community better. These are the things that are going to make our community better. Without these things, we will never get things better. You have people who are setting forth a plan. Project 2025. Project2025.org is where you can go. This is where you can go and get their game plan. They have literally typed out a game plan, put it online, and let it set it forth for you. A 1,000-page document that gives you step by step their game plan. They have no qualms about this. These are the same people that helped create what if you're old enough to remember, Reaganomics. These are the same people who gave George H.W. Bush his game plan. These are the same people who gave George W. Bush his plan. These are also the same people who gave Donald J. Trump his plans. And then, it's a lot of people right now. Hey, man, we're going to, and goes right into the second point. We are in bed with fascism at this point. Hey, man, we can no longer be single issue voters. We cannot be a single issue voter. That is foolish. Look, is the president of the United States doing everything that we want him to do? More than likely not. More than likely, he's not doing anything that you want him to do. But the question is, how many times have you preached about it to the right people? How about this? How many times have you gotten together with some of your friends, some of your family members, and had meetings about your community? How many people at your church know about the issues that you have? How many people in your friend, your bro group, your sister friend group, how many times have you sat around and had these conversations with them? See, it's easy I'm going to be like Cat Williams this year. This is the year speaking truth to power. But you know what? That's awesome. But who are you speaking it to? Club Shay Shay. How many times you going to get on Club Shay Shay? Hell, how many times you going to be on Build and Destroy? See, we must take the time to get these things taken care of. We must take time to allocate towards making the proper complaints, talking to your state reps, your community leaders, and things of that nature. We have to do these things. We must realize that, hey, when somebody approaches you, and don't just be the guy that say, I hate Trump and Trump ain't doing nothing for the Black community. Ask yourself, name 3 things that Donald Trump has done to make your life a little more difficult. If you can't do it, then maybe you need to look into it. Me personally, I can do it. And it's not a brag, and I'm not beating on my chest saying, hey, I know, but this is what I want you to be able to do as well. One of the things that Donald J. Trump did, he filled and it's not affecting me, but it can affect people in my community. He filled the federal courts with judges who are anti what we are for. These judges, when you make a claim against that your civil rights are violated, these judges don't see those things. They see right past them. That's a federal judge. So when your civil rights are violated, so a place of employment violation of civil rights, a community organization like the police or anybody violation of civil rights, those judges will overlook those charges and nothing ever happens of it. That goes right into the Project 2025. They want to do away with the ability for a citizen to sue the police. So the police accost you, they attack you, they beat you to a pulp, and now you can't even do anything about it. They want to make it so the Department of Justice are the only people that can bring charges against those people, and the Department of Justice is wholly underfunded. So how will you get justice in this situation? How would a Rodney King get justice? How would a Michael Brown get justice? How would Philando Castile get justice? How would anybody get justice? Because you got an underfunded justice system, and I can't create an organization, the NAACP, the Urban League, I forgot the Jewish organization that allegedly helps everybody, but they traditionally help the Jewish community, and there's nothing wrong with that because that is what it's there. The ALC, those entities must disappear under this new regime, and that's what the goal is. This is why we must get involved and get into it. See, fascism sneaks up on you. We've seen the game plan. Remember a few months ago, I said evil has nothing but one game plan, and they stick to the plan and the players change. If you don't believe this, all you have to do is look into your history books, and you see that when Adolf Hitler was elected to office, he was dethroned, kicked out of office, and then he had a following, and that following followed him, and he got reelected, and then he was promoted, and then next thing you know, he was the prime minister again. He took over a country and then started to take over the world. This is exactly what the people are trying to do here in the United States of America. We're not noticing it. They started off with banning media. They discredited all the media in the country of Germany, and now the things that are coming out are being propagandized, and nobody believes the media. That's what Donald Trump said. First thing he said was the media fake news, and then the fake news became a thing, and then we start pointing out every issue, every minute issue that we have with the media. The media has never been as honest as we would like them to be, but they're more honest. They were at one point. They were more honest than they are now. So what do? We discredited the media. Next thing you do, you start burning books. Why would you burn books? You burn books to make sure that the populace is stupid. You need your populace as dumb as possible. The populace must stay ignorant as possible, because a book will inform you. Most things that are written down are true. Most things that are said have an agenda or swayed in a specific way. When you have people like Rupert Murdoch owning Fox News, Fox Radio, and a newspaper, then he can put out propagandized news. And if you follow that situation, you will follow lies. And then when you get places like Fox News that'll get sued, and they literally are in court saying, hey, we are not necessarily news. We just use the word news as a moniker. They're basically openly saying that we're willing to lie to people to make sure that we get our point across. And then they were met with no pushback, because they were a news organization. They were not a news organization. They were entertainment. And now most people don't even know about this. So now they're putting out propagandized information, lies. They have been identified as liars time and time again. And there's people every day that go to Fox News, they get propagandized lies, and they present it to you as truths. Again, that's just one thing. The second thing is the destruction of, when you put these federal judges in place, you feel this. You feel the Supreme Court with people who think like you, and he was able to put 3 people in the Supreme Court, which gave people that think like him control of the Supreme Court. And that's why Roe versus Wade was done away with. That's why women don't have total autonomy over their bodies. And again, it isn't affecting me directly, but I have loved ones that are women. I have women in my life. So now a woman in Ohio can get raped, and she can't get an abortion by a person who took her or attempted to take her humanhood, her humanity from her. You got a young lady in Ohio who was just acquitted. A grand jury just refused to indict her because she had an abortion, and the remains of the child was flushed down the toilet, which that happens to a lot of people, and they attempted to press charges against this lady. Why? Her door was kicked in. She had to get legal representation. She has bills because of a foolish law created by a man who is trying to control somebody's life. At what point do we realize the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, 1964 Voters' Right Act? Do you understand that your grandmother, depending on your age, your grandmother or your mother had more voting rights than you have? How is it that we're regressing as time goes along? The further we get away from the enslavement period, the darkest period of the United States, it's only a blip in our history, because people always like to say history started in 1776 or history started in 1492 and 1619 we got here. No, that's American history. That's Western Hemisphere history. That's what they call the New World history. New World, and meaning the Europeans find out that it was people on this side of the world history. If the history of the world was a clock, the American history wouldn't even get you to two after the hour. And that's just the 100%. Honest to God, the world is hundreds of thousands of years old, and America is only 240 years old, 241 years old this year. So understand what it is. Understand what we're dealing with. We are not dealing with a great span of time, but when you're dealing with situations like this, you must realize this is just a blip in time. And if you erase that blip, you can put anything you want in that blip. And that's why they do away with books. Keep you ignorant. You never know what's going on, what has gone on. So when you don't know what has gone on, you won't know what's coming. Again, the Sankofa principle. You look back in history to understand why you are where you are, and that'll navigate you through the future. And this is exactly why they keep these things out of books. They do away with Black history in the state of Florida. They do away with Black history throughout the country in some states. I'm not going to name all the states. We can go to Pennsylvania. We can go to the great state of Michigan, some points in Texas, Arizona, and things of that nature. And then we can go on and on and on. This is why I keep telling you, you must fight for the right to be an individual who has civil rights. That's all civil rights is: civilian rights, humanitarian rights. These are the things that we're fighting for. I'm not going to tell you, go vote, go vote, go vote. You know to vote. I'm not going to tell you, oh man, your people died for that. No, your people died so you have the opportunity to live the best life you can live. And how do you live the best life you can live? Are you going to vote your way into power in this country? Nope. Mm-mm. Joe Biden does not represent the architect of Wakanda in America. No. But what he does do is offer you an opportunity for a less dangerous person to be in office. Joe Biden is not our friend. Working class people. I'm speaking directly to my people, my tribe, Black people in America, no matter which portion of the diaspora you're from. But I'm also speaking to white people too. Joe Biden is not going to create a euphoric area for you. Oh man, Joe Biden is over there. He's supporting genocide. Well, guess what? There's genocide going on right here in the United States of America. How many of y'all even think about it when you go to the mall that you may get shot? Sending your children to school and they may get shot. See, I'm not a supporter of Joe Biden, but I am a supporter of the lesser of two evils. You're still supporting evil, but guess what? Which one would you rather have? Would you rather have cancer? Or would you rather have the flu? Neither one of them are comfortable. But the flu is a whole lot easier to get past. And that's what we're dealing with in this situation. The thing that's going on overseas, that is genocide. That is genocide, period. But what we are not going to do is ignore the fact that your children are being undereducated. Your children are not obtaining the opportunities that other affluent children are in this country. See, if you know history, you will realize the way they were able to control the continent of Europe so long, only 2%, at one point, only 2% of the people on the continent could read. Therefore, they were told whatever they wanted to be told. They were living a life that they had to live. They're living a life that was forced upon them. And this is exactly what, look, I don't teach you how to do cursive. See, you get people focusing on cursive. Oh man, That's not important because it's not important anymore. In 50 years, we won't even care about cursive. Cursive will be the equivalent of Latin. How many people know Latin? One of the oldest languages on the earth. It's a dead situation now. Now, cursive is the same way because we don't need to write things out anymore. But it's also a tool that you need because cursive allows you to be creative and things of that nature. And it's been studied. That's why the state of California just made cursive mandatory in their academic situation because it does spur upon things. But while we're worried about cursive, they're taking books away. Again, another plight, another tool used by one Adolf Hitler. Get rid of the books. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is power. Knowing is going to put you in the best possible situation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you to know something else. And as you know something else, what I'm going to do is give it to you in the form of a video. I'll play this video for you. You'll know something else. And then I'll be right back.
In the many accounts of aviation history, the Wright brothers are often heralded as the pioneers of flight. However, a remarkable and lesser-known figure deserves his place in this prestigious narrative, Mr. Charles Frederick Page, a black inventor whose contributions predate those of the Wrights.
One of the most outstanding of his accomplishments was the invention of the airship, and he received a patent prior to that of the Wright brothers.
The patent of Page's airplane was recognized, patented, and recorded, and given a title in Washington, D.C., just before the World's Fair in St. Louis, 1904. Let's take a look into the life and achievements of Mr. Page, highlighting his groundbreaking work in early aviation.
Are you interested in starting your own faceless YouTube automation channel, but all people do is tell you to go to frickin' Fiverr and Upwork and hire people to make rain sound videos, motivation videos, and all this other useless crap?
Born into the harsh realities of slavery in 1864, Charles Page's journey was far from ordinary. His relentless determination led him to teach himself to read and write, a feat that set the foundation for his future inventions. Despite the societal and racial barriers of his time, Page's ingenuity and perseverance shined through. Now, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. Just think about it. This man, during the height of slavery, taught himself how to read and write. He risked his life to learn how to read and write.
Mr. Page's fascination with flight was not a fleeting interest, but a deep-seated passion. He spent years observing the flight patterns of insects, fueling his ambition to replicate their aerial abilities. This fascination culminated in 1903 when he built a flying model of an airship. By 1904, using his life savings, Page created a full-scale model, hoping to showcase it at the Louisiana Purchase Exposition in St. Louis. Tragically, Page's aspirations were thwarted when his model airship was stolen while en route to the exposition. This loss was certainly fueled by the racial prejudices of the era, as the feeling was that no black person could possibly be responsible for creating a flying machine. Imagine that. During the progress of the fair, Page paid for space to have his patent on the exhibit, but for some unknown reason, it never reached St. Louis after having been mailed to go there for the exhibit.
The trajectory of Charles Frederick Page's life and his airship invention was significantly impacted by the insidious force of white supremacy. Racial prejudice not only created systematic barriers for black inventors like Page, but also played a critical role in the eventual sidelining of his achievements. In an era where black success could mean a death sentence or an entire town being burned to the ground, to be a black inventor was a revolutionary act in itself. The most painful example of this was his airship's model's mysterious disappearance, as stated. It was scheduled to be showcased at the 1904 St. Louis Purchase Exposition in St. Louis. The model has yet to arrive. The prevailing belief, supported by historical context and family testimony, suggests that the model was likely stolen and destroyed. a victim of racially motivated sabotage. The theft was not just a loss of a physical model, but a symbolic erasure of black invention from the narrative of aviation history. So basically, they didn't want black people to have nothing to do with the establishment of the aviation history. And based on this brother's contribution, we know that that is not true, and we're here to set the record straight.
This careless act dealt a severe blow to Page, both emotionally and financially. This heartbreaking incident compelled him to relinquish his dreams of aviation.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not.
However, despite the setbacks, Page's achievements were formidable. He received a patent for his airship in April 1906, preceding the Wright brothers' patent. His contributions, while overlooked for decades, have slowly begun to garner the recognition they deserve. The city of Pineville, where Page lived and worked, has honored him with a historical marker, acknowledging his innovative spirit and his contributions to the airline industry.
The timeline of Page's patent is particularly significant. His airship was patented in April of 1906, 3 years after the Wright brothers' first flight, but before their patent. This chronologically suggests that while the Wright brothers were making strides in one approach to air flight, Page was concurrently exploring a radically different path with his airship design. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Page's life was not solely defined by his aviation pursuits. He was a respected citizen, a timberman, and a farmer who actively fostered ideas and started businesses to uplift the African American community. His legacy extends beyond his innovations, encapsulating his role as a community leader and as a visionary. Today, Charles F. Page stands as a symbol of resilience and ingenuity, especially in the African American community. His story, a testament to overcoming adversity and pursuing one's dreams against all odds, serves as a powerful inspiration. The recognition of Page's contributions is not just a correction of historical oversight, but an important step in celebrating the diverse and rich history of Black innovation in the United States and indeed the world over.
You know, the story of Charles F. Page is more than a historical footnote. It's a compelling narrative of determination, innovation, and resilience. In the face of racial prejudice, and during a time when he was not allowed to read, he taught himself how to read. And I can't help but think about how many Black inventors had their inventions stolen or lost. How many businesses were burned to the ground? How many Black dreams were crushed? How many upwardly mobile people were lynched? Because keep in mind, the people that were lynched during the time of lynching were usually the ones who were doing great. They were usually the businessmen and the upwardly mobile people who were doing good things in the community. I can't help but think about these things. Yes, folks, so just know that we are more than what the media try to tell us we are. We are more than what these movies try to portray us as, these downtrodden people who can never get out of their own way. They never tell the narrative of people like Charles F. Page and how many great people in our history that we know nothing about. It is up to us to tell our story. We are the change that we need to be, and we are the only ones that will get us out of this situation. It is up to us. It is up to you, and it is up to me. The Black Excellence and Abundance channel, where Black history is every day.
This is my H Rap coming at you live now. I'm back. Thank y'all. And if you're watching on YouTube or on www.theitofthebench.com, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up. The people who are watching on Facebook, sorry, I didn't acknowledge you. I got my man Big Ant. I had Anthony come in, be great. #1 Chief Rock Jersey Burn. Thank y'all for joining in. Thanks for the support. It's always warranted and appreciated. And thank you for allowing me to take a bit of your time today. As the man said, these are the exact things that I was saying earlier today, and earlier in the program. We must do everything we can to substantiate our history, because without our history will allow us to build up on things that we know nothing about. It's a lot of people out here that don't understand that we are not slaves. We did not come from slaves. We were brought here. Some of us are already here. You had King Mansa Musa, who came over here thousands of years ago, 70,000 strong. Some people stayed, some people didn't. You had people, California, you had people in the middle of the country. You had people in the northern part of the country. You had people from Haiti. From Haiti, Jean Toussaint Baptiste. It's the dude who basically settled what you know as Chicago, Illinois. That's the dude from Haiti, got all the way to the top of the country 200 years ago. It's been 202 years ago. 202 years ago, that's how old Chicago is. So understand that we were not slaves. Everybody who was in this country that looked like us, who are the lineage of us, they were not just people who all we could do is say yes and no, so boss, and all. No, that's not who we are. That's not where we come from, and that's not what we are here for. We have a great heritage. You got my man James Montgomery in the building. Thanks, James. I got my man Ant as well. Thank y'all for the support. It's much gratitude that you come in and support the show. Thank you. It is greatly appreciated. Now, but as I was saying, these things have to be taught, have to be shown. Our children must know them, our grandchildren must know them, because then you'll understand that I'm not a slave. I didn't come from slavery, because my history is old as the world history. When you know things like a black man watched animals fight and defend themselves, and that's how he created the art of self-defense that you know as karate and kung fu and jiu-jitsu and things of that nature. There are black people who helped build pyramids in the country of China. There are black people who helped build pyramids in Vietnam. There are black people who were in Japan. When you see The Last Samurai played by what's his name, Tom Cruise, that was actually a black man. When you see the pyramids in Minnesota, in Mexico, those were black people. See, we don't know these things. There is remnants of pyramids in as far west of this country as Denver, Colorado, and then it's been suspected that there are remnants of pyramids in the Grand Canyon. These are the things that we are not taught, we don't know about, and no one's going to tell you, because once you realize your greatness, you'll realize that greatness is inside of you. If I said this once, I've said it a million times. You are a sum total of everybody in your lineage. Everything, if your grandfather was a great man, or grandmother was a great woman, you have greatness inside of you. And that's why people of the cultures, that's why they hold on to their diet. That's why they hold on to their deity. That's why they hold on to their traditions, because those traditions breed greatness. And that's why ours are always stripped away from us. And that's why we're always told, hey man, don't even worry about all that old stuff. Like, I've had a person who I've known most of my life tell me, man, why you be talking that history stuff? We need answers today. But you get the answers today from yesterday. And if people don't understand it, they will continue to suffer. Your foundation is your history, and you build from that. You do not. The history of construction is the ground. Period. If you want to construct something, you have to get it from. If you're gonna build a shed, you must get the wood. The wood starts with the tree. You don't just snap your fingers and create wood. If you get cement, you get those elements from the ground. Everything starts from the floor and works its way up. And if you don't know your history, you'll be subject to believe that you're nothing, that you are an animal, that you are a vagrant. I've had people share with me that elders told them, man, I'm glad them white people brought us over here, which has to be one of the most asinine statements in the history of the world. Because for one, all of us were not brought over here. Do you really believe? Think about this. If you've never left your city block, remove technology. If you've never left your zip code, your little community, if you've never exceeded your community, just never gone past the boundaries of your community, how could you navigate in a town down the street? You couldn't. Go to a suburb that you've never been to and just walk around freely. You wouldn't know how to get around, because you wouldn't know the streets. So how is it that people who were trapped in what is called a plantation, and would be a neighborhood, it would be a terrible neighborhood. It would be severely dangerous neighborhood, but it'll be the neighborhood nonetheless. How could you navigate outside of that? And you had people who were on these plantations who could navigate to Philadelphia. Harriet Tubman navigated from Maryland to Philadelphia. Some people can't drive from Maryland to Philadelphia today with technology, but this woman was able to do that. You know why? I personally believe our ancestors told her the way, because they were here before us. They were here before the enslavers. They were here before the colonizers. They were here before our European brothers and sisters took over this place. Understand that. There are caves. There are people who have been spelunking in southern Illinois who have that date 400 years older than Christopher Columbus. Again, Christopher Columbus never got as far west as Illinois, but it was people here from the continent. When you look at what is called meta nature, the regular person will call them hieroglyphics, but it's called meta nature. When you look at those things, they show corn. Where did they get the corn? They got the corn from the region of this continent called Mexico. These people, they met, they exchanged things, gold, and they gave them what's called maize, which translates to corn at this point. This is what will allow you to understand, no, I'm not a slave. I was a prisoner of war at one point. I am a descendant of a person who was a prisoner of war, much like the people who were prisoners of war 85 years ago in the midst of World War II. You have people in containment camps, Japanese containment camps. You have people overseas that were in Jewish containment camps. They were being destroyed, and the people over here, they were just being brutalized. But understand that this is why people hold on to their history so mightily. This is why those things are there. And this is why you have people like Governor DeSantis in Florida. And this is why you have people who will continue to bleed and separate you from your history, because once you realize the greatness of your history, you'll stand up righteously. You will address people accordingly. When you realize how great your parents are, nobody can question your parents. When you realize how great you are, no one can question you. But we allow people to dictate who and what we are. And as long as you allow people to dictate who and what you are, they will be able to let you believe that you are less than, because you are not less than. The greatest what this is what pimps. This is what pimps do to prostitutes. This is how you human traffic someone. You grab them, and you don't grab them physically. Yeah, of course they are beaten down physically, but you don't grab them mentally. You grab them physically, you grab them mentally. You make them feel less than. You make them feel as if whatever you do is obligated. I helped you. I will give you the worst portions of Africa. I will dress down Africa and make it the worst place possible, so therefore you will believe you escaped something, not knowing in 2018 and 2019 the country of Nigeria and the country of Ghana had two of the greatest technological advances in the world. But all you see of Africa is huts and animals and wild animals and things of that nature. These are the things that you don't understand. These are the things that if you don't look into, you won't realize your greatness. And that greatness is inside of you again. My dad, never met him. He talked about the same things I'm talking about now, 54 years later. So this is what I want you to understand. This is why civil rights are important. Oh man, I ain't voting for Joe Biden. Again, back to this Joe Biden vote thing. Is Joe Biden a great president? Nope. But guess what? People like Donald J. Trump, people like the Republican and other leaders in the Republican Party, they didn't want. There are people who have gotten their student loans relieved. The same student loans that some people who are doctors and lawyers. Do you understand? Get this. Barack Hussein Obama, the previous president, you know what he did right before he was elected? He paid off his student loan. He was a millionaire and still paying off his student loans, people. A lot of people got their student loans relieved. That's by Joseph Robinette Biden. Am I caping for this guy? No, I'm not. But what we have to do is pile up the good things about this president, pile up the bad things about this president. And then what we're going to do is work with the good. And when you see it's a lot of good, what you do is realize, well, this dude could be pressured into doing what we need. Well, we can put up a wall around a proverbial wall around our community with our civil rights, with our ability to do things and move around this country freely. Or we can live in a situation to where as they can take all our rights, they can remove the 1965 Civil Rights Act, and then you can go into a hospital and they can say, no, we don't serve black people here. And you can potentially die. That's what we're on our way back to. This is why I said last week, every black man, woman, and child needs to have a firearm. And we need to reintroduce firearms into our homes. When you have people like Sojourner Truth saying that every house needs a Winchester rifle on the mantle and a Smith & Wesson. Yes, that's because people were in danger at that time. And am I talking about some type of wild shootout? But no, but you need to be able to protect yourself. Guns shouldn't be intimidating to women. Guns shouldn't be intimidating to men. Guns shouldn't be taboo to touch for a child. If you teach a child how important and how powerful a gun is, he'll respect the gun. Guess what? You're not afraid of your children playing, plugging up a television. Now, of course, we're not going to have an infant plugging up a television, but you're not afraid of your children plugging up a television. How many people allow their children to plug their iPads in? You're not scared, oh my God, my child is going to die. No, you're not afraid of that. You know why you're not afraid of that? Because that child understands how important and how powerful electricity is, and you put that same information into a child in regards to a firearm, and that child may protect you one day. A child will protect you one day, and what you need to do is and then you get self-defense, karate, kung fu, jiu-jitsu, what is the one that's defense only, hapkido. You get those things embedded into children. Now, for one, it teaches self-control. It teaches discipline. And then guess what? You got self-control, you got discipline, you got defense. And guess what? I bet you the academic thing will return. Let's stop giving our children toys for Christmas and for their birthday. Give them a book. Make it fashionable for children to read. And once they become voracious readers, you can't hide anything from them. I think it was DJ Ramon said, I never knew that about that guy. Then you will never have to say, I didn't know that, because now you have your children running to you, telling you things. These are the things that we need to be aware of. We need to be aware of that, oh man, the third thing, I'm going to tell you, I was going to give y'all 3 things that Donald Trump did. Donald Trump gave, 1 second. I'm sorry. Donald Trump gave a $1.6 billion, no, actually gave $70 billion tax breaks to billionaires. How does that help you? It doesn't help you at all. It doesn't help you in one shape, fashion, or form. It does not help you at all. You know what it does? It cripples you. But Joseph Biden has just assigned $1.7 billion in groceries. $1.7 billion in groceries. And when you got $1.7 billion in a grocery bill, what does that do? EBT people who are struggling to buy food. There's a child, if you make less than $50,000, and you have children in your home, and it should be everybody, but if you have children in your home, each child is available for it is a $1.7 billion payout, but it is $120 per child in each home. So if you got 3 children in your home, that's $360 in groceries. Guess what? I don't know anybody that don't need $360 in groceries. If you got 1 child, it's $120. If you are not eating that much, guess what? Wouldn't you like for June, July, and August to have $120 extra dollars float into your home? I'm sure you would. Was it a ghost? No, it wasn't a ghost in there. No, it wasn't. It was, you know where I'm at. It was. I left the door open when the video was going. I had to go. I'm 50. I had to go to the bathroom. But that's $120 extra for each home. This is something that the Republican Party and Donald J. Trump fought against. See, look. I ain't pro no elected official because they're getting rich. They're showing up 100,000 there. They're showing up making 75, 80 grand a year, and they're leaving $200 million strong. So that means these people are not doing anything for us. They're not doing any good for us unless we get them to do it. Now, I'm angry with the people in the state of Georgia. I'm reading this off my list. The state of Georgia, the state of Louisiana, the state of Mississippi, the state of Alabama, the state of Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, Vermont, and Arizona, because they refuse that money. So there are no hungry children there. Hold it, wait a minute. These are the same people that fought for these women not to get abortions. These people, Hold on a second. Yeah, the ghost is gone now, Ramon, my man. Yeah, uh, 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 these are the same people. These same states that I just named. They are the states that are fighting against women getting abortions. So hold it. Wait a minute. I want to understand this Republican Party, and anybody from the Republican Party, you're welcome to come in, holler at your boy. It's real good. It's real easy. At @HRAP_B, WB, Brian D. Williams. I don't really ain't on Facebook too much, but get at me on Twitter. I'll be arguing with y'all anyway, so get at me. But this is what I want you to do. Explain to me this. You don't want my woman, my daughter, my sister, my aunt, my cousin, my niece to get an abortion. But you also don't want my woman, my sister, my daughter, my niece, my aunt, my cousin to have $120 extra for the child that you forced her to have. Make it make sense. As the children say, the math ain't mathing anymore. These are the things that we need to be fighting against on a regular basis. This is why you need to get involved and get into it. Don't just talk to your friends, your cousins, your husbands, your significant others, your wives, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, or whatever. Start having these meetings. Start having these conversations, because these people, look. Well, hey, and I age you. yeah. I'm old, and you know it. You know better than most. Can't find them. I gotta go buy some new ones. But yeah, my eyeglasses, can't find them, people. Y'all know I'm blind as a bat without them. So, but but this is what I want people to understand. This is why our community, working class people, again, this show is centered around the Black community. I will not apologize for making this show Black centric. But I'm talking to everybody. I don't have a bone to pick with working class people. But what I do have a bone to pick with is these politicians who are not doing the will of the working class people. It's people hating their jobs. And now you want to take from me. You don't want to give me health care. Why is it that and I'm about to end the show shortly, because y'all know Bible study start. Me and Jesus got an appointment every Tuesday. Y'all already know. This is what I want to ask. How is it that when you go pump gas, you pay tax? When you go buy food, you pay tax. When you go to the movies, you pay tax. When you pay cable, you pay tax. When you pay for these streaming services, you pay tax. When you're driving down the interstate, you pay a toll. When you get paid, you pay tax. But we can't get free healthcare. We can't get, it's socialism. Well, guess what? Social Security is socialism. The GI Bill is socialism. A whole host of things is socialism. But we don't want people to have socialism. Do you understand why the GI Bill initially wasn't? It was called the New Deal by President Roosevelt. You know why they didn't give it to everybody? Because they didn't want Black people to have it. You know why? Literally, this ain't, oh man, HVAC being pro-Black, HVAC being radical. They literally said they didn't want Black people to have it. They didn't do health care back 100 years ago, 100 years ago. Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt. He was trying to get the whole world insurance. No, we didn't want Black people to have it. The New Deal was excluded to people, to jobs that Black people work. Indentured servitude, meaning butlers and people of that nature, butlers and maids and things of that nature. People who worked in the fields. Those were the jobs that we were centralized to, because they didn't want Black people to have it. So, well, we got those jobs now. We have opportunities now. So what we're going to do is make sure you get involved, man. But look, I'm just asking everybody who will ever listen to this, it'll be a couple hundred people listening to this by the end of the week. Thank you. Thank you for the support. People on Twitter, the people who on Facebook, the people who see it on my Facebook group, and the people who are watching on YouTube and www.theendofthebench.com. Thank you guys for the support. Well, how about this? Each and every one of us have 5 people vote. Period. Then how those 5 people subscribe to my big, because me and my people need to look at change. But on the serious side, we need to do those things. I want to do those things. Let me see. I keep coming because you're reading with your mouth dropped open. My God. Okay. I'm gonna get you back. Thank you for the comments there. I greatly appreciate it. And nah. But with that being said, I want to thank y'all. Thank you for the levity added to the show. Hey, I'm adding this piece to the show too before I go. Every week I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give people something to watch on TV. Because remember, the very first show of the year, I said I want us. Thank you for the laughter. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I want people to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. You healthy because you're eating the right things and you're taking time out your life to relax your mind. You physically healthy because we're putting the right things in our body, and then we're wiser because we're gonna be sharing information. We're gonna be talking to each other and sharing information. And I do want this to be more of a conversation than a dissertation. Again, I do want this to be more of a conversation than a dissertation. I want people like DJ Ramon. I want people like Miss Hale to chime in, have a little fun with me because it's not an entertaining show without fun. But I'm gonna add this to the show. I was gonna add it next week, but I'm gonna add it this week. And what I want to do is add this show that I want y'all to check out on Netflix. I stumbled upon it because I'm too dumb to sleep at night. I don't understand why. I will stay up all night long and know I got to get up and do things and earn money, but I'm just the R word, but I want y'all to. I'm gonna put the trailer on here, and I want y'all to check out this show. The reason I'm asking you to check out this show, not because I'm promoting Netflix and that, because they ain't giving me a quarter. I really don't need to be promoting it, but I do pay them people this little change. Shout out to Bria, she took over the bill. Look out for your dad. But,
we have no problem
it's
telling
a
your
movie
son.
called, it's a TV show. It's a new series on Netflix called Children of the Sun. This is how you're gonna be mentally able to relax. You're gonna be mentally able to relax because we are no longer gonna be physically overwhelmed by things because we're gonna have fun in 2024 as we get stronger, as we get wiser, as we get wealthier. This is what I want people to understand. I want us to be total people. We are good people. We are good people. I want y'all to watch this preview. This is something I think is entertaining. Every week I'm gonna add something entertaining. And I want you, if you get at me on Twitter, get at me via text, get at me via inbox on Instagram at hrap_b, at hrap_b, everywhere I am. I want y'all to check this out. It's a pretty dope show. Relax your mind, let your conscience be free. You said last week that you sent out your money. Oh, yeah. No, I'm not missing that lunch. I want y'all to check this out. This is a good show. Every week I'm gonna bring a good show. Thank you for the laughter. I'm not gonna miss out on that lunch with them, but hey, that person will beat me up. They violent. But I want y'all to check this out. This H-Rap, checking it out. Boom. Check.
I'm not your prisoner. I'm here to negotiate. We have no problem killing your son. I dare you to go after Charles. Who said anything about Charles? All these years, you were hiding someone else. Bruce, our family is head of the Jade Dragons.
So we're like criminals. You could have told me that.
We were trying to keep you safe.
Yeah, nice fucking work.
The family is under attack. Some new gang wants to take our place. It's time for my brother to step up.
I don't want to be a gangster. What if I just want to do what I want?
We have a word for that in Taiwan. American.
Our enemies are coming after you to get to me.
I'm starting to think that neither of us really know Mom at all.
Don't question her.
I am still your mother.
Tell me what I want to know.
Or
I'm going to tattoo a penis on your face.
okay.
You go, girl. Get what's yours. Or don't go, girl. Or at least pause, girl.
Which brother are you? The killer or the dipshit? Take action and end this.
I don't think we've ever hugged before.
We're probably gonna die, so you might as well get one in before you go.
And again, that's just the first one I'm gonna do. We'll have a little fun on here, man. It's your man H-Rap coming at you live and direct. That's a pretty dope show. I checked it out already. Next week, I'm already gonna tell you what I'm gonna do next week. It's gonna be nope. I ain't telling you. Tune in next week if you want something else good to watch. But check that out on Netflix. Again, man, we gonna have good times. We gonna get shared good information, and we're gonna have good conversation. Next week I got a lieutenant from the Chicago Police Department. His name is Dan, Lieutenant Dan, funny. But Lieutenant Dan coming on, he's going to talk about the ups and downs of the police department, what he's doing. He's a community activist. I've been knowing him for the better part of the last 25 years. He used to be a music mentor to my son and my daughter. They went to the same church back in the day. He's going to come on, share a little bit. He's starting his own podcast. We're going to continue to expand the bandwidth. This your man H-Rap. Thank y'all for tuning in. 2 fingers, 1 word. This your man H-Rap. Big Mo, take us out of here.
We lust for that cheese, we lose sleep, dreams of that cream. We killing our teens, they dying for this American dream. Them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees, them politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for ties, now his people can't eat. She stripping for change for school, now she giving them brain. She used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him 2 to the brain. It's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains to take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't? You thinking they saints? Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas and he free. Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth and the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. They told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim. And you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't? You thinking they saints? Remember all them niggas they hang? Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. It's all a game.